Hey guys, before you file for your spouse, hello, hello, hello. Freedom Now. Type in Freedom Now, guys. Welcome to Monday's live Q&A show. I'm Latoya McBean Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York, working with clients nationwide at McBean Law, where we believe that freedom is now. Come on in and say hello, and of course, say where you're watching from. Thank you for being here today. I see you guys now. Thank you so much for coming in. Type in Freedom Now, guys. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and happy Easter to those of you who celebrate Easter. Now, we ran a little late today because we had we're doing some things here at our office and we had to switch gears with the setup. Come on in. It's great to see you guys. Hey there, Michelle. Michelle McBean. All right, Roisin, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Arif and others. Guys, at McBean Law, we're here for you. Hey there, Rose. Good to see you. We're here for you. We are all about working with people who have perhaps a lengthy immigration history. Perhaps you have tried before with immigration and it didn't work out so well for you, and you're discouraged, and you come on in and meet with us, and we will give you our honest assessment of things. If you have a way forward, we will be the first ones to tell you, here's what we see, or that will need to study your case. And help you to find that way. Now, it's different for everyone. Okay, results do vary, but we have a lot of great results on our website that we share at mcbeanlaw.com/success. So read some of our success stories, encourage yourself, get on our newsletter list, subscribe so that you're plugged in fully with us. And certainly reach out to us at 914-898-9488 if you'd like to schedule an appointment with an attorney. We meet with folks here in White Plains, New York at our office and in person. And we also meet with folks virtually by Zoom and by telephone. So we're here for you. Contact us so that we could take a look at your immigration situation and see how we might be able to assist you. So great to see you. Good to see you, Oni. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, now before we tackle your immigration questions, let's talk about very important news out of the state of Florida. Okay, out of the state of Florida, there's a showdown that's happening between the judiciary and law enforcement, as well as the state attorney general's office. There's a lot going on. As you guys know, in February, Florida passed some very aggressive immigration laws that criminalizes individuals going into the state of Florida who are undocumented. And over the last couple of weeks, we have seen some things happen in the state of Florida that shouldn't happen, including the arrest of a U.S. citizen last week that made national headlines. And he was ultimately released after a day or two in jail, but it was very traumatizing for that 20-year-old young man, U.S. citizen, born in the state of Georgia. And a federal judge in Florida had actually paused or temporarily halted the enactment of the new immigration law in Florida until further court review of the litigation that's pending before the court. Yet law enforcement ignored the fact that she paused it, and they're still carrying out their work. And as a matter of fact, they made at least 15 arrests in violation of the judge's order. And obviously, the judge wasn't very happy about this, and she issued a temporary restraining order. So then the Florida Attorney General ordered state law enforcement agencies to halt the enforcement of the new state immigration law after federal judge Kathleen Williams expressed her shock that arrests were continuing despite her April 4th order blocking the law and blocking them from doing so. And the judge said here that in court last week that the court enters a temporary restraining order prohibiting defendants and their officers, agents, employees, attorneys, and any person who are in active concert or participation with them from enforcing SB 4C. And she says here, when I issued the temporary restraining order, it never occurred to me that police officers would not be bound by it. It never occurred to me that the state attorneys would not give direction to law enforcement so that we would not have these unfortunate requests. The Attorney General had only instructed agencies like the Florida Highway Patrol and Florida Sheriff's Office to comply, but never the order never trickled down to local law enforcement. So now he finally issued his order to stop, to pause local law enforcement from arresting people under the new state law. Guys, if you're in the state of Florida, just know that despite here, in my opinion, despite the fact that the state attorney general has said, do not arrest individuals under this law, despite the fact that a federal judge, Judge Williams, has said what she said via court order, is it possible that local police and even some sheriffs might go ahead and still do this because they're so zealous and they just want to be tough? Yes, it's possible. And then is it possible that more or another US citizen would be caught up by this based on racial profiling? Yes, that's also very possible. Be very vigilant in the state of Florida, guys. That's the latest out of the state of Florida. Now let's get into some immigration questions that you have. Type in freedom now, freedom now. Let's see. Now, this Damien says that he has a 48-month extension letter, and he wants to know whether he could travel outside of the country with his 48-month extension letter. Yes, at your own risk, of course, and certainly if you have a reason to be concerned about your history or your background while the government is reviewing your request for a 10-year green card, speak with your immigration attorney before you travel outside of the United States. Okay, now let's keep going. Good to see you guys. Good to see you, Natasha. Thank you for being here. Emmanuel from Liberia, thank you for watching today. Okay, let's scroll down. Am I worried about the birthright citizenship case that is going forward to the U.S. Supreme Court? I'm not worried about it. I do think that as we knew, we were anticipating that the birthright citizenship issue would go all the way up to the Supreme Court, which is certainly what the administration wants. And it's, as I've said in the past, and as we're seeing play out these days with the Supreme Court, there are some members of the court who have an ego. Some of them have an intellect, of course, and they want to show that, listen, I could think about this issue and form my own opinion on it based on various reasoning that I pulled together or my clerk pulled together, and come up with my own conclusion despite the political pressure that they might face. So I think we're starting to see that play out now with the Supreme Court, and I'm hopeful that they'll make the right decision. Reasoning, I don't know the law with regard to the history, so to speak, around birthright citizenship. Only, I know it on a certain level, but of course, with the U.S. Supreme Court, they're going to go much deeper with various decisions over the years and such. So I'm hopeful that they will make the right decision and just stay within the Constitution and what the 14th Amendment actually says. So no, I'm not worried about it. But as you guys can see, the Supreme Court is going to have so many immigration related cases before them over the next few years. Okay, let's keep going. Thank you for asking that question. How long for a Jamaican to come to the United States? Phyllis is asking. So Phyllis, it all depends on how you're coming here, who is filing for you. If it's an employer, you're doing an H-2B process versus a relative who is filing for you. Is it a sibling U.S. citizen or is it a U.S. Spouse, right? So it varies from maybe a year to 15 years. It really depends on which category you fall into and who is bringing you here. Thank you. Good to see you guys. Let's see. I would like to go back to Scotland to see my nephew. I have been in the US for 4 years. I'm a green card holder for the past 7 months. I fear the border is just not working properly, Robert is asking. Robert, most likely you'll be fine and wouldn't have any issues. Green card holders generally can travel, as I've been saying, but there are some people, green card holders with a criminal record, for example, who shouldn't travel during this time. And those who are in removal proceedings certainly should not travel. After mailing the form I-864 to sponsor my spouse, should one receive? I'm not sure what you're asking there. I'm going to jump down a little bit. Now, just keep in mind that the I-864 is the Affidavit of Support form, and it goes in connection with a green card application process here in the United States. And so if that form is properly completed with the right evidence that it requires, I think we might have to close our window in here today because it is very loud on my end. The I-864, as I was saying, goes along with a green card application process. And if it's completed correctly, then the government will continue to process your case. So not sure what you're asking there, but no receipt notice is then sent to you. The receipt notice that you will get confirms that they have your I-485 green card application, the I-130 petition, and then the I-765, the work permit application. And if you applied for a travel document, you'll also get a receipt notice for the I-131, but not a receipt notice for the I-864 affidavit of support. My father was a green card holder, but he did surrender it. Can we petition for him again? Yes, you can file for him again. And if you're asking a two-part question, can we do adjustment of status if he comes to visit? So if he comes to visit and he decides to change his mind and stay here, of course, adjustment of status is the way to go, okay? Let's see. Freedom now, guys. What does it mean if a pending F3 category I-130 since 2016 has recently moved to the electronic immigration system for processing? So this F3 category is the category for individuals who are married and they're being sponsored by the U.S. citizen parent. And so now 2016 filing, so after the I-130 has been approved by USCIS, it then moves to the National Visa Center. Let's see if I could remember these immigration agencies on this Monday. After separated myself from immigration over the weekend, partly. Partly. I'm never separated from it fully. Once it goes over to the Visa Center, it will stay there until your priority date becomes current and things the process is now available for you to move your case forward. So they're going to hold on to it for a good while until your priority date becomes current. And there's a significant backlog in that F3 category. Good to see you, Keisha. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Isabel, nice to have you. Thank you. Mauricia, always nice to see you from Connecticut. Let's go down. I'm not sure about the refugee travel document right now. As you guys know, a lot of things are on hold for asylees as well as refugees. The government has temporarily paused the processing of the adjustment of status process for those individuals. Okay, so we're waiting for them to complete whatever the fraud investigation or review is that they claim to be going on right now, so that they could again process your green card applications, asylees and refugees. How long after applying for the renewal of your work permit does it usually take for you to receive it? So, these days, it's all over the place, all over the place. For some people, they're getting their renewals fairly quickly, maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months. For other people, it could even be closer to a year. And that is the truth. And that is what we have been seeing also in our office. Okay, let's see. Keep going, guys. Freedom now, freedom now. I have just started my VAWA case. Do I have to register? So, Ruth, it all depends on, obviously, how did you enter the United States? If you enter the United States with your tourist visa, then you're already registered. If you entered with any visa for that matter, you're already registered. Also, when a person is going through VAWA adjustment of status and they submit the form I-485 and you go in and you do your biometrics, fingerprints and such, you're registered through that green card process. Okay, freedom now, freedom now. Let's keep going. Let's see. Should you still put in the I-130 if being that they have stopped the asylee from filing? Okay, so the asylee, if you're a true asylee, you won't need the I-130. However, if you are married, because the I-130 is filed by a relative petitioner. It could be your spouse. It could be an adult U.S. citizen, son or daughter. It could be a sibling. It could be a parent. So those are the individuals who could file an I-130. Now, if you're saying, well, I have an asylum application pending and I'm now married and I'd like to do the green card process through my spouse, which you can do simultaneously, by the way. You can do and have an asylum case as well as a marriage case going. So if that's the situation that you're in, you can certainly move forward with the asylum, I'm sorry, with the I-130 filing through that spouse or that relative. Those are two different cases. But if you're a true asylee, which means that you've already been approved of asylum, okay, the government has already approved your asylum application, that's an asylee, then their next step would be the green card application process. It does not include the I-130. Ayam is asking, how can one adjust his status after being allowed to enter the United States? Ayam, I have a lot of videos on this topic, including a playlist on options for individuals who have overstayed their visa. Start watching some of those videos. But as far as adjusting status is concerned, you will need to be an immediate relative of a U.S. citizen. That's one way of doing it. Or you qualify for VAWA, of a domestic violence case. That's another way of doing it. Or you are eligible under an old amnesty, so to speak, process called Section 245I. That's another way of doing it, of adjusting your status. Okay, let's keep going. Green card holders can petition for children who are over 21 already here in the United States, so long as that child is unmarried. Okay, but it's going to be a little bit of a process, okay, as far as that child, the adult, will need to do a waiver years later, and then leave the United States to complete their process. Questions about our policies with regard to the consultation fees and such are on our website. We'll put the link here in the chat for you, our contact page where you could see our FAQs and learn about how we work, okay? Let's keep going. Freedom Now. And then just in answer to one quick question here about our fees, yes, the consultation fee will then be, will apply towards the fee agreement. If you hire our firm, we'll credit that consultation fee. Thank you. How long will it take for me to hear anything about my I-130 that my son filed for me in January? These days, Cheryl, it feels like years already, right? And it's only been 3 months, feels like years. These days, it's probably gonna be more than a year. All right. So Martin says, Ms. McBean, I know you said before that adjustment of status cases will be much slower now, but my case was submitted in January and I just got my interview notice for May. I'm kind of worried. Well, Martin, speak with your immigration attorney about your record to see whether you should have a reason to be concerned or not, okay? But that's great. You could also let us know which city you're located in so that we could see how fast things are moving in your location. I submitted my N400 3 months ago. Are there any changes that I should be aware of? So, one particular change that's happening these days with the N400 naturalization process is the fact that during the interview now, the government is asking individuals to answer every single question that's part of part 9, I think. I have a video that that's going to cover some of the major changes that's happening these days at USCIS interviews, including this issue about the N400. So just stay tuned. We're going to get that teed up hopefully in another week. But yeah, that's one of the big changes that I think you should be aware of. It's all of those security questions that's on the N400. They're asking individuals each question one by one, and it's actually, there are quite a bit of questions in that section. Okay, let's go down, type in Freedom Now. And also, guys, let me know where you're joining from this afternoon. I see one of our clients is on as well, saying that they're waiting patiently for the I-130 petition. And yeah, filed in June. And this is mom to adult daughter. Yeah, it is taken about a year these days, June 2024. Oh, citizen mom. Here's what she says. Citizen mom to alien adult daughter filed in June of last year. Okay, so yeah, it's that could be pending for at least a couple of years. Okay. That one could be pending for at least a couple of years because you're talking about the F1 category for an adult daughter. DACA holders, to traveling to Hawaii is a no-no. It's not advisable for individuals to go over water these days. In the event the plane is routed elsewhere. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit here. It has been more than 60 days since I last submitted my request for evidence on my I-693 response. Still waiting for their reply. 60 days. Okay, I think sometimes it does take a while to hear back from the government. I would be curious to know what they were asking you. What were they asking you for? Do they have to do further investigation into things? That's really what I would be querying if you and I had the pleasure of meeting. Thank you. If you've met with us before, let me know in the comment that if you met with us for a consultation and we provided advice that worked out in your favor. I'm always interested in hearing about that. Because many times people do come to us who already have a case pending, and we provide some advice in our consultation, or they're about to file and they decide to file on their own. We provide the advice, and I'm always curious to know how things shake out for them. Good to see you guys. If someone applied for citizenship and owes child support, will they be able to get through? So the child support issue needs to be worked on from the standpoint of showing that that person is on track with making those payments. Come on in, guys. If you are now joining earlier, I talked with you about the fact that some things are shaken up in the state of Florida with the new law there. And the state attorney general in the state of Florida has now finally said to local law enforcement, stop arresting people under the new law, which is on hold, that the judge has paused it. And so this new Florida aggressive law is going to be on hold for quite some more time until the case fully makes its way through the court system. So that's really the big issue there in the state of Florida, due to the fact that 15 individuals were arrested after a judge said, let's pause this a little bit and so that I could take a look at what's really going on here. Let's see. Someone says that when I was applying for my J1 visa, I did not put my mom's information on the application. Now I filed a green card. I'm married to a U.S. citizen. USCIS has asked me for my mom's information, and I put that she is in the United States. So, Cadix, you're gonna need to have a private one-on-one discussion with an attorney about what happened there. Whether this was, yeah, we'll have to go a little deeper offline, okay? So certainly if you'd like to meet with us, schedule a consultation. What if your mom is filing for you and you're an adult child? How long does it take to come to the U.S.? My mom is a citizen. You're looking at maybe 7 to 9 years. It just depends on your country and the visa processing that will be going on there. The visa processing that will be going on there. Now let's see something here. Hold on a second. Okay, friends, the other news that I want to share with you, which I don't have here in front of me, I'm just going to do it by memory. We were rushing, and so I forgot to bring this in, is the fact that New York Times reported out this weekend that there's going to be a major overhaul at the State Department. And that overhaul includes shutting down various bureaus around the world, and some significant changes in Africa. Now, after New York Times published this article, Marco Rubio immediately tweeted that it's fake news, that New York Times is sharing fake news. But the Times went on to say, and they did include that in their article, that, oh, Marco Rubio is calling this fake news. However, here's what the internal memo that we were able to obtain actually says, and the article laid out the various different scenarios that are being proposed to completely reorganize the department, to also lay off a lot of people, or to make buyout offers to a lot of people, and then to really shut down what they are considering non-critical embassies and consulates in sub-Saharan Africa. They're looking to shut things down significantly in some parts of Africa. I have no idea. I don't where. Don't know the specifics yet, aside from sub-Sahara African countries. And this is just it's apparently supposed to be an executive order that President Trump might sign. No one knows whether he's actually going to sign an executive order like this of this level. Well, not of this level, because we've seen some very significant executive orders. So let me just back up there with my words. But no one knows whether he's going to actually sign this particular executive order. But it is floating around, and the ideas are floating around to completely reorganize things at the State Department. Now, if you guys can recall, a few weeks ago, I did a video in which I talked about the executive order that President Trump did sign called the One Voice, in which they were laying out the rationale for reorganizing, changing everything with respect to foreign policy, and also the Foreign Affairs Manual, which that executive order One Voice said that they're going to possibly revamp, okay, the Foreign Affairs Manual, FAM. And so big changes are expected from the State Department via an executive order. I'm watching it carefully to see what it will be, what the changes will be. But I just thought I'd let you guys know about this so that if you're out there and you're going through a consular process, particularly in certain African countries, just know that, and then all over the world, really, because the reorganizing and the shutting down of some embassies and consulates will impact a lot of people by slowing down the process. Just know that now is really the time to really try to get aggressive with your consular process. If you have paperwork that you've got to get into the visa center, try your best to push things along. If there's a way that an expedite request can be made for you now regarding your case, speak with an immigration attorney about possibly doing an expedite. If you're sitting in administrative process in 221G, speak with an attorney about a possible mandamus to be filed to push the State Department to make that next move in your administrative process. Try to get incredibly aggressive, because the State Department changes will likely impact a whole lot of people across the globe. Okay, now let's keep going. All right. And if you saw that New York Times article, just comment below that you saw that one as well. We didn't share about it because it was Easter weekend, and I didn't want to drop any negative news during this weekend. Let's see. My husband's I-130 is 16 months with no response or action. Should I be worried? No, Jojo. That's what, we're starting to see these I-130s take much longer to be processed. Let's see. Can I, asylum seeker, still get married and adjust my status here? Ashley's asking. Ashley, your spouse can certainly file for you. Whether you could adjust your status, it really all depends on how you entered the United States. Oh, that's what. Thank you for the clarification. Okay, let's see. Let's see. For DACA, yes, if anyone, seek your renewals. Seek your renewals. Don't let, until you actually get a green card in your hand, do not stop the process with your DACA renewals. Okay? Unless you get your green card, obviously, through another means like marriage, then there's no need to. I'm from South Africa and I have a green card. Do you think I'm going to face issues going back and forth, given how tense the situation is right now between these two countries? So I think you'll be fine, green card holder. Again, with the caveat that if you have a criminal record, then don't travel. Okay, let's go down here. Do you take on clients from other states and how? Yes, we do. We have clients all across the country and in many different countries as well. It starts by having an appointment, a consultation with us. If you're from out of state, it could be a virtual meeting, or if you're nearby, you could come on in and meet with us in person. And if there's a way forward, we'll inform you what the attorney fees are during the consultation. And then we start the fee agreement electronically, and you make a deposit. Then we'll open up your case and get started. We have a system that allows you to submit your documents to us securely and safely. Called Clio, and after you submit your documents to us, the team will work on your case. And once the case is ready to go out, we'll have you review it as well electronically, sign off on pages that you need to sign off on, and then we'll mail it from this office that I'm located in White Plains, New York. Then we'll monitor it and let you know what's going on as far as an approval is concerned, or whatever decision the government reaches in your case. So that's how we work virtually. And the mail that we get, you'll get as well, so that you'll see what's going on with your case. Let's see. Let me scroll down a little bit here. Freedom Now. Can I have a free consultation? We are not offering free consultations. Let's see. Let's go down. Let's see. I have an arrest record 3 years ago for selling alcohol to an underage child. Can I travel now? You're asking. My general recommendation these days is that if you have a criminal record and you're a green card holder, that you should not travel at this time. Give it some more time. Watch how things will play out over the next year before you decide to travel. What happens if a green card holder's spouse is unemployed when the wife wants to apply for citizenship? Does it affect the case? Who's unemployed in this scenario? I'm a little confused, Narjis. If green card holder's spouse is unemployed when naturalization, just so you guys know, naturalization doesn't, when an individual is going through the naturalization process, the government does not drill down on his or her finances. Okay, if that's what you're asking. Certainly, if there's time today, ask your question, maybe frame it a little differently. If CVIS is terminated due to criminal charges and those charges have been dismissed and expunged, what steps should be taken? I think you're going to need to speak with us one-on-one about that. I'd like to find out, well, not me, but one of our attorneys who handle the student visa process, employment-based process, will meet with you, have a discussion with you about whether reinstatement might even be possible. I'm not sure whether you'll be able to get it reinstated. Let's see. Let's see. Is there any processing of work permit for asylum seekers now if you're not under the Biden program, the Biden parole program? Let's see. I know that the green card process, I'm drawing a blank here because I know that the green card process is paused. I think it is paused. It is, I believe it is, but I'll have to offer the clarification if it's more generally paused for every asylum seeker, those who are not under the parole program. Can you remind me to just quickly look at that? I feel like I used to know the answer. I did. Maybe last week I knew it, right? Yeah, you caught me at a bad time with that question. I feel like I know the answer. Of course I do. Scroll down. Let me see if I can redeem myself here. Let's scroll down. Okay, freedom now, freedom now. Okay, if someone was in another country for 22 years and they came to the United States through the I-130 process, and that person will be applying for the N-400 after 5 years as a green card. Let's see. Hold on a second. Will that be an issue? I don't think it will be, but I would want to know, do you have any maybe criminal record in that other country that you were living in for those many years? Scroll down. Okay, green card. I'm seeing a lot of questions here about green card holders travel. We actually have quite a bit of videos on this topic. Spend some time on our channel and you'll see a lot of resources that we have regarding green card holders and travel. Okay, so I'm just want to let you guys know that I'm going to scroll past your question. How long after you put in your I-130 and other applications do you get a work visa or okay, so if you're talking about being outside of the United States, going through an employment-based process, look at the visa bulletin for the month of May to see what the government is up to in your category. But if you're here in the United States and you're referring to your work permit after put in your adjustment of status process, I'm sorry, I-130, so that's not employment. What I meant to say is that look at the visa bulletin under the family category. If you're outside of the United States trying to come in through an I-130 process, check that category. If you're here in the United States, which I'm suspecting that you are, and you filed an I-130 along with adjustment of status and you're referring to a work permit, well, that work permit, you could get it for some people, it's 1 month, 3 months. For others, it's 8 months, even 10 months. We've seen some of those recently. So it really just depends. It's like all over the place now. A few months ago, I was very confident in saying that it's 1 to 3 months because that's where things really were. And then, we're realizing that, wow, it's taken a lot longer for certain applicants. Okay. Let's go down a little bit. Let's see. Does the I-601A waive 2 entries? I'm married to a U.S. citizen. So the I-601A only forgives you of the unlawful presence that you have accrued in the United States over the years. It does not waive these 2 illegal entries into the United States. Someone says that I've submitted my adjustment of status 4 months ago and I haven't heard anything yet. You're in good shape. Adjustment of status is taken longer these days. I don't know where your jurisdiction is, though, which city you're located in, but I think across the board, we're seeing things slow down. Let's see. Can a conditional green card holder petition for the child who's 19? Yes. Um, let's see. I think I'm going to have to jump off momentarily, guys. I do have my consultation started. Let's see if I could get in one more question. Okay, so what are the chances of for someone to apply for N400 who spent 15 years in the army in another country now and got their green card through marriage 9 years ago? So the government will be drilling down on first of all, which country, what could have potentially been going on during the years when you served in that military? Was there any war during that time? Were you part of any groups that, terrorized other people? The government will be looking at those kinds of big facts. What was really going on during that time that you were in service, and were you on the right side of things? Okay, if you understand what I mean. And if you were, then you shouldn't have any major concerns at all with naturalization. Guys, it was fun being with you today. Thank you so much for joining me on this Monday. Again, here at McBean Law, we're reachable 914-898-9488, or you could email us to schedule an appointment with an attorney. Thanks so much for being with me in this one, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.